Okay, let's go do the new side quests. Tataru's Grand Endeavor and Tales of Newfound Adventure. I'm assuming they're both going to be in Old Charlian. Tales of Newfound Adventures. Shadowed Past. Is that around here, or is it somewhere else? The Minstrel's down there. Shadowed Past. Where is that quest? Shadowed Past. And it's in Vods, okay. It is in Vods. Okay. So the first one's 6.2 and the second one's 6.3. Okay. Well, let's do the Tataru quest. It's only one. Let's see here. It's this one, right? Soaring Profits. Yeah. And these are for different patches, I believe. So we're just doing Soaring Profits now. Oh, why hello there. Your arrival could not have been more timely. Mistress Tataru has but just left instructions for another batch of deliveries. She sends her regards, of course. Today she is in Idleshire for business with Rowan's House of Splendors, and tomorrow we'll no doubt find her some other far-flung corner of the realm. We mustn't be outdone, Chrane. This time our samples are destined for 2 organizations in Kurthus, an arrangement made possible by none other than Master Sicard. He contacted his dear friend Lord Amanalain de Fortom, who was kind enough to spread word of the boutique to his own contacts across Ishgard. It hardly took any time for the first letter of interest to reach us, and once these samples have been delivered, that interest will be piqued to a passion. Or so I have been assured. Lord Amanalain has insisted he will take care of all the particulars and bid me convey my enthusiasm that he looks forward to accompanying you on the deliveries. Oh boy. Well, now then, regarding that secret mission of ours. We're making a necklace for Tataru. From her mom. Like, it's a necklace that could be from her mom back in the day that she's been searching for a long time, and we're trying to fill it up with new emeralds or gems. A gorgeous sapphire, is it not? It will make a beautiful necklace once restored. A keepsake of not only Mrs. Tataru's mother, but that of her many friends and allies from across the realm. I'm confident that someone of your experience has a most discerning eye for mementos. Bring back anything you think will make a worthy addition. Got it. And with that, I will leave these samples in your capable hands and eagerly await your safe return. Perfect. Wah, 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 wah. Okay. To Ishgard. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, ba, da, da. This music, man. Love it. Heavensward might still be my favorite expansions. Might still be my favorite expansion, honestly. It's hard choosing between Heavensward, Shadowbringers, and Endwalker. They're all so goddamn good. But for very different reasons. Chrane, old boy, it is good to see a rousing glow in your cheeks, considering that dreadful business with the imminent destruction of mankind at the end of the times and whatnot. Hi, Manolane. Yes, indeed. Who better to distribute exquisite arms and accoutrement than a bona fide hero such as yourself? Well, I have two parties with simply ravenous interest in your products, dear chap. First of whom happens to be rather exquisite herself, my dearest lady, Laniette. Is that the woman you were hounding at the start of the Heavensward MSQ? Be so good as to precede me to the Rose House. I shall be along promptly, of course, just as soon as I'm coiffed and powdered. He is nothing but trouble. This is... oh boy. Either I'm in for a surprise, or this is gonna go just as I imagine it will. Wah wah wah! Jesus. I think the weakest part of Heavensward might be some of the zones, honestly. Like, I'm not a fan of the Sea of Clouds, for example. It's probably the weakest zone in the expansion for me. The music's great, but I just don't enjoy the level design. Personally, it's not to my tastes. Well met, Chrane. 'Tis good to see you hale and whole. I'm about to ruin this woman's day. Thank you for personally making the trip. I know your obligations are many. Truth be told, your arrival could scarce have been better timing. While we erstwhile troubled relations with the Vanu improved by the day, we have been forced to reconsider our current munitions due to recent incidents of... I have come, my darling Blossom. Behold the Manolane, the executioner, here to smite your foes with ruthless ardor. No. 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 I hate what I'm seeing. No. Well, I strike a rather smashing silhouette, do I not? Why, Sicard could not have found a better man to gift these samples to. Surely such splendid armor could be put to better use than fashion, Lord Manolane. Could I not prevail upon your better senses to relinquish that gear to those who might appreciate its practicality? Far be it from me to deny any request of yours, Lady Laniette. Only I must confess that I may have slightly exaggerated Sicard's generosity in the matter of gifting these. You mean to say you borrowed them, no doubt without his knowledge or consent? And why should I have expected otherwise? Friends may forgive, but it bears repeating that your clients deserve at least a modicum of professionalism. You do have other clients, don't you? Oh. Of course I have, and of no little celebrity at that. You remember the Red Bills, of course. Please remind me. Oh. Oh no. Catchy and everything. The Sky Pirates. That an unexperienced adventurer should know them hardly surprises me, but how does a privileged son of House 4 Tom come to make their direct acquaintance? It was a happy coincidence of alien circumstance, I assure you. As Chrane here can attest, an unbiased range of social contacts is the essential arsenal of not just adventurers, but any gentleman of consequence. This guy. Unbiased is all very well, but sky pirates are precisely the problem I was speaking of earlier, Chrane, before we were interrupted. Recently, self-proclaimed sky pirates have been marauding trading vessels with troubling audacity. Even the Sky Steel manufactory has reported stolen property at the hands of these ruffians. Troubling news indeed, though I cannot imagine fellows as amicable as our Redbills could be responsible. Still, if we should hear aught of it, I shall send word directly. Now then, Chrane, off we trot to the infamous Perrock. I have been told to seek out a certain red standard upon cold wind. How the pulse quickens. Sure. Fare thee well. Ta-ta! Oh boy. He has a completely different level of energy that I just cannot match for the life of me. Gonna jump off so I don't see stuff I haven't seen. Absolutely. It makes sense. You take care, man. Okay, Manolane. This looks rather promising, wouldn't you say? I leave the rest to your uncanny sense of direction. Old boy, to the Perrock we go. Hello. Well, if you ain't the very picture of health, Chrane, saving the star from complete annihilation didn't tax you over much then, huh? Hello. Hello. I haven't seen these characters in, I don't know, almost 3 years, so I don't remember really what happened in this quest line. I didn't record it either, sadly, so yeah. Let me guess, it was not compared to all the bowing and scraping required of the mercantile genteel. Don't tell me this dandy is what wooed you from the life with sweet nothing of financial comforts. Leofard, my good man, you know as well as I that only one wooing Chrane is into anything is yourself. Don't think your interest in our mutual friend here escaped my notice. Your aim all along was less about armaments than it was an audience with Chrane, was it not? Not bad for a dandy, aye. I might have had my sights on a touching reunion between Chrane and myself, but that's not to say I won't be needing those samples. See, I have a job that could right benefit from both your keen sense and those pieces you've brought me. So long as they're half the quality of what Manolane was showing off in the alehouses, anyway. I can count on your participation, yes? You'll be duly compensated, of course. Just name the price. It's so weird seeing Catchy now that I know more about him. I had no idea what the hell this thing was supposed to be when I played this the first time. All I know is there was a thing I thought was called Kate Sith in Persona that you could summon. Now I know it's a Scottish folktale and it's called Catchy. The stuff you learn. Parts of a necklace for Tataru herself, huh? I'd have preferred something you might make use of. It is useful to me. But far be it from me to dictate what a man does with his booty. If that's your recompense, I'll see what I can do. Now that we have you on board, allow me to elaborate. It seems another band of petty thieves have been masquerading as sky pirates and harrying honest traders as of late. So we heard. So you've heard of them. Aye, these so-called monstrous cockatoos don't exactly strike fear into the heart of man, but they're being a right nuisance, and now they've gone and made things personal. You remember the Remil, don't you? The captain's old airship? Well, after what happened in Dunscaith, we've been commissioning the finest airship parts from across the realm for the construction of her successor. Only to have those cockapert nincompoops pillage the very Skysteel manufactory vessel that was carrying our precious cargo. And the nerve of some people, huh? Makes my mouth water. Of course, once the cockatoos realized whose property they pilfered, they flew into a panic and holed up in Idleshire after stashing the goods somewhere. This is where you and your samples come in. We want you to take Leofard and... Before we spill the rest, Stacia, let's make sure our friend here is still up for a spot of fowlin'. How about it, then? My mercantile genteel is at your service. I knew I was right to call you. Those downy ducklings won't know what plucked them. Ah. Quite so. With Chrane returned and our crew complete, victory over these ne'er-do-wells, most certainly assured. By the by, would you have any terrible objections if I informed the Rose Knights of your designs upon these charlatans? The Knights are affiliated with House Elenart, you see, and thus have particular interest in recovering the contents of that Skysteel vessel. I know my darling, that most capable Lady Laniette simply will not rest until she has brought these scoundrels to justice. Can't say it's an alliance I've ever considered, but so long as I get all the cockatoo I'm due... The cockatoo I'm due! Our knight most thorny are welcome to catch and cage as they see fit. Splendid! Lady Laniette shall be very glad to hear of it, overjoyed even. Yes, she may simply be unable to contain her unbounded delight. Unbounded delight. I must away. What a fool. Not awaiting us in Idleshire, but danger in subterfuge. But such is more tempting to our ilk than lovely knights, huh? Let's be off. I'll explain the rest of our gambit once we get there. Oh, we are here already. Nice. Da, 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 da. I, for one, am most indignant by how well he looks. What? Oh, because of the outfit? Okay. Between Leofard's hoarding and all the shiny baubles and catchy covered in all the maps and scrolls, the Red Bills ain't been selling much in the way of treasure lately. To be frank, we're flat broke. Sure, restoring the good name of Sky Pirate is a matter of pride, but we simply can't afford to lose those airship parts. Well, if that ain't the same armor my machinist is wearing, then I don't know what that is. Who's the dandy now, you ask? I reckon my reputation precedes me in these parts, and the legendary Red Bill Leofard ain't known for togs like these. Though I could get used to this, comfortable, practical, and with a sense of style to boot. Right, so that's what we're... I can't believe it took me this long to realize this is what Tataru's having us give to other people. The armors she's designing. The level 89 armors. So Madeline took the warrior one, he took the machinist one. I see. Ain't often you find that holy triad in battle gear. Quite the line you're trouting. Which brings us to your role in my master plan. While it ain't easy laying low in a motley place like Idleshire, these cock-a-hoop cowards have been managing well enough. Sure to lure them out, we are going to spread savory rumors of a black market merchant looking to find contraband for even finer coin. That's you. Just strike up a chat with any adventurers or peddlers that seem like to share hearsay. I'll be playing your handsome bodyguard, so rest assured I've got your back, master. I've taken the liberty of preparing your guys. It ain't as flattering as Leofard's, but you should fit the part nicely in this. Oh no. I look like a mix between the guy who tricks you into summoning Ifrit and Hancock. Sharon! Okay. Ba-da-ba-ba-da. Ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-da-ba-ba-bum-bum-ba-dum. An approachable adventurer. Contrabandists. Well, I do know of some sky pirates new to town, and just the other day I overheard them discussing their latest windfall. Ah, yes, just the sort of enterprising folk we're looking for. You think you could help us pin them down? I'll do what I can, but I'm no stranger to sky pirates, so I'll ask around. Bum, bum, ba-dum. I don't know if I've ever been up here. Don't think I have. Distinguished merchant. A merchant yourself, are you? Perhaps I'm overstepping, but consider this friendly advice. Seeking out sky pirates dressed in such stereotypical garb is akin to dangling a sign from your neck reading, "Purge my purse." Oh, the righteous Redbills may pity you, dear sir, but few else. Righteous ain't never been to me liking, mates. I just can't abide them reprobates what don't honor the creed of sky pirating. Or so you can imagine Redbill Leofard might say, huh? Not that it's any matter of ours. Anyhow, should you find someone looking to offload dubiously obtained merchandise, send them our way, will you? If you insist, but don't say I didn't warn you. Yeah, you need to compose yourself, man. Calm thine titties. Where's the next one? I don't think I've been around this corner either. The goblins never got a reputation. Right? No, they didn't. Weird. So almost all the other main ones did. Huh. Poor goblins, dude. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong marker. Here we go. Yes, Gobby eye catches such sky stealers. Sky stealers come to claim busy deal at Craftforge, but bring to no trade goods for Jingly Shine. Great laugh joke for Gobby merchants. Sky stealers leave with grump face. Gobby does not understand why uplanders wish to trade tongue flaps with grump face sky stealers, but happy to hand lend for more laugh jokes. Much obliged. If all goes to plan, we'll have you laugh joking over their sorry hides for summers to come. Great happiness for goodly uplanders. Gobby shares one more laugh joke sky steal. For goodly uplanders, Gobby shares one more laugh joke Sky Stealers whine and cry about calling strong friend as they shame run. Friend may be strong, but Sky Stealer brain cases are still airy lights. That's so difficult to read. I thought his name was Tarman Tiny Mom. Almost. It was close. Well. I thought that it was going to be the ones we were after. So, are we the talk of the town yet? As far as I can tell, you're strong contenders, perhaps second only to rumors about a mysterious intimidator who's cast their lot in with the cockatoos. Only natural that those sniveling whelps hide a browbeater. But what thick-head willing courts the rancor of the red-bill leopard? Well, I suppose a few names come to mind, but no matter. Our plan proceeds as discussed. Let's take to the streets and wait for our clients to come crawling, huh? Uh-oh. Big man. Oh there, are you the trader looking to chaffer with the monstrous cockatoos? Chaffer with scrags like you, fury end me. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. That voice, Red Bill Leopard. As you live and breathe, not for long though, if you don't hand over what you Dicky Bird stole. Dicky Birds is really funny. Bluster all you'd like, Red Bill, but you ain't getting the better of us this time. We've treated with a sky pirate that'll crush you to pumice. Pumice? And there you were, thinking this would be ever so simple, were you not, my dear Leopard? That's not the voice. Of course, I remember her. Not in the slightest. I was thinking surely Radley and her talents would never sink so low as to become lackeys to a lackey. But here you are. I might even start to pity you. And that is where you constantly underestimate me, Red Bill. I would stop at nothing to realize my desires. And, oh, were the sweet memories we made together in Dunscape not enough to convince you of that? But I suppose I might be willing to overlook your stubborn indifference and return those stolen airship parts you so desperately seek, if you would but call me your captain. Completing that airship means more to me than you'll ever understand, and I ain't leaving here without me stolen goods. If they're worth recovering, that is. You there, Cockalorum. You didn't leave that plundering wind aspect of territory, did you? Of course you did. Heads as empty as a tosspot's tankard. Those airship parts are embedded with highly calibrated corrupted crystals. Put them in any contact with wind sprites and they're no better than glorified scraps. Wait a moment, he said contact, didn't he? How many wind sprites go contacting the rock formations on Provenance? It'll be fine. Yeah, but now we know where it is. Utata, you've got hands on airship, yes? Take her to Provenance and go pick up our stolen goods. Some genius hid them under a rock. You were bluffing? Obviously. Don't make me doubt your intelligence, Radlia. What airship needs parts that can't handle a little wind? Doubt what you'd like, Leofard. I hardly need bloody airship bits to beat you into submission. Let me slip into something more comfortable. Very nice of them to let me. Chrane? Did you say Chrane? As in the Chrane Carmine? Since when was he a friend of the Red Bills? Have been for a while. Seems I'm not the only one whose name is worth something in these parts. I'm still prettier, though. What the hell? Well then, sweet cockatoos, let's get about cutting you up into cockatrees and fours, shall we? Red Bill by himself is one thing, but Crane's something else. Ain't nothing for it, lads. Run! Flee for your lives! So much for Monstrous. Let's leave him to the garrison. Ain't enough meat on their shivering bones to warrant the chase. Radlia, I reckon this was little more than a diversion for you. But surely you didn't think I'd fold to such a weak hand. All the more pity that you assumed those airship parts were the only pieces of valuable taken from me and mine. But no matter, it's time to make your allegiances clear. If you and your talents intend to continue this farce, then we'll have it out, here and now. Well, it seems I misjudged my prospects. I had thought those simpletons might amount to more than sniveling turntails, but I have neither loyalty nor affection for a useless cockatoo. I suppose I shall have to content myself with this reunion in itself, but you will need more than clever bluffs to evade me next time. Of that you may be certain. Well, there she goes. Those were some fine samples, without question, but nothing beats wearing me own rags again. Go ahead to the Parrock and wait for us in my chambers. Will be along once I've spoken with our knights most thorny. Really, I have to pay for the trip back? That's mean. Ba, 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 da. Though I suppose I could have looked if my Wondrous Trails was ready when I was there. I can't see it here, right? That'd be very fun if I could see if it was available on this page. I think this was the most forgettable of all the raids, honestly. While I think Evilis is the worst one, I think this is probably the most... Well, Evilis is the worst because the content in between the raids is so mind-numbingly boring. But the raid itself is fine. But this is probably the most forgettable one. To me, at least. Like, I didn't remember Radlia existed until she showed up. Then I remembered her rivalry and the fact that they obviously need to bone down, but like... Yeah, I don't remember who this is, if it's his mom, if it's his love, or who it is. I truly don't remember. Well, Utata says all stolen property is accounted for and finishing touches on our airship proceeds apace. And according to the Rose Knights, the cockatoos will be shipped off to the Diadem, where they can enjoy volunteering their services for the betterment of mankind. Speaking of which, Captain, what is to become of the miscellanea recovered from the cockatoos' hoard? I am sure House Aelenard will lay claim to their possessions, but as for the appurtenances of origins unknown. Worry not, puss. I don't pocket any jig'em bob. I find like some petty foister. We'll track down their rightful places soon enough, if my prediction holds. Tataru? Chrane, is that you? What is she doing here? What the hell? Who's this? Uh-oh. It is! And you look quite as surprised as I feel to think we'd meet here among the clouds and sky pirates. I was just finishing up my affairs in Idleshire when who should come asking for me but Red Bill Leofard. Quite a thrilling twist to my day, I'll have you know. How did the Manlane put it? She's got her fingers in more pies than a high street baker. Suddenly he's American again. When I got wind she was in Idleshire, I felt like snubbing fate not to enlist her expertise. Well, I'm exceedingly glad you did, for I have returned triumphant. Allow me to present the famous traveling portraitist Duramet. Portraitist. But of course, among the recovered items were a slumber of singularly beautiful paintings. Oh, I'm relieved to hear it. When I learned which vessel had fallen prey to sky pirates, I thought those pieces would be lost forever. You need a visual update, dude. Jesus. So you are yet another victim of the monstrous cockatoos. Still, a personal summons to the Paroc seems like the sort of social nicety to which the captain is normally intolerant. I believe my presence here may have another purpose entirely. You see, Leofard and I are old acquaintances. He commissioned me to paint that portrait, in fact. My beautiful daughter, Remiel. She looks perfectly at home here. Beautiful daughter? Aye, Duramert is father to Lady Remiel, the gentlewoman who cared for Leofard as a lad. He abdicated all family affairs to his son when he became a practicing artist, but he's still a lord in lineage. You mean to say that the renowned portraitist Duramart is not only your grandfather, but a former lord as well? Oh, you must forgive my blithe introduction from earlier. Not to forgive, Mistress Tataru. Mistress Taru. On the contrary, I'm indebted to you for tracking him down so quickly. Thanks to you, this can happen just as I hoped it might. So it's his mother figure, the portrait. Construction's about finished on our new airship, and I wanted you here when I christened it. When I christened her, the Remiel will fly again. My dear boy, celebrating your mother's life with you continues to be my great honor. When you hung her portrait here, when you named your first airship, I could see the vestiges of her love shining in your countenance then, just as it is now. I only hope you continue to realize her greatest wish for you, to live as free and unfettered as the sky itself. I know she would be very proud. A bit like herding curls, ain't it? Getting us adventuring types all in one room. But well worth the effort, I'd say. Moments like these are meant to be shared. Right, I believe we've got a new airship to fly, and the open sky awaits. Now this is an airship. With how she handles, I could fly to the edge of existence and back without so much as a hiccup. Which I hear on good authority, or whatever authority Emanalain is when he's in his cups, you have literally done. I'll never tell. I reckon I've never been such equal parts awed and envious, though I'll assume my invitation was simply lost by post-Moogle. Nay, nay. In all candor, I'm certain there are some skies only meant for your eyes. Escapades surpassing even my wildest imaginings. So chart the ends of eternity and horizons filled with peril. Just don't think you've seen the last of what wonders the heavens hold. I'll come find you again before long, Chrane, and I'll bring everything I always promise. That thrilling, heady rush of high adventure. Though farewell may be bitter sorrow, know that it is but fodder for reunions most gay. No need to get mawkish, furball. It ain't as if Crane's dropping off the face of the star, not permanently anyhow. We'll meet again soon enough, although Kachi is liable to mope like a damp kitten till we do. I expect these parts will be free of half-baked brigands for a time yet, but should you ever find yourself in need of a red bill, don't hesitate to call. Thank you. 'Tis no small comfort knowing our ships may distribute their wares in safety. As for you, Chrane, we'll be in touch. And off they go. Well, that was invigorating. While I'd love nothing more than to catch our collective breath over a cup of tea, business calls me to Ishgard. No rest for the enterprising and talented, as they say. Shall we, Duramart? Well, I love those gloves. I wish I could have them, but I'm assuming they're linked to a crafter artifact armor. But I would love to use them on everything. Might I persuade you to accompany us? I should very much like to hear of your adventures. Painting subjects I find personally inspiring is a particular credo of mine, and I dare say you have brushed shoulders with more than a few individuals of note. Thank you for indulging an old man's eccentricities. Now then, perhaps you could begin with the adventure you shared with Leofard and his crewmates. Okay. Oh. Oh. Is that for me? No. Leofard intentionally offloaded this in our direction, yes? Whatever could it be? A show of goodwill from the rebels. Whatever it is, Leofard's a man of his word. How mysterious. But now that I think of it, Leofard did mention sending something along when he asked me to track down Dermert. Well, I would make quite the sight lugging this around to all my meetings, so might I ask you to hold on to it for the time being? I trust you not to run off with my share of the reward. A gift from the notorious Red Bills, you know. They're rather a nice sort of sky pirate, don't you think? A bright and energetic young lady is your employer, Chrane. I hope shepherding me back to Ishgard did not delay her business over long. The tales you shared on the journey here were beyond anything I could have anticipated. Never have I heard such inspiring episodes of daring-do. Though I may not know them personally, I find myself fascinated by the individuals you described, the comrades and acquaintances of your journeys, as I believe I shall remain in the capital to paint for a time. Should you desire a portrait, I would happily part with it for the cost of its supplies. Find me here and we may make arrangements. Can I? Okay. Let us speak again once you have fulfilled your current obligations. Can I do that? I mean, I have an entire portrait system, but maybe there's a way to move them from being a portrait like that to then having them as a physical object and put up in a house, maybe? Contradicting convictions. Why is this quest hanging out here? Contradicting convictions. What is this? Quest line. Scholasticate quests. What the hell? Oh, this is patch content from Heavensward? Huh. After the Church of Ishgard's history is revealed, the students of the Holy Sea's finest seminary find themselves in a precarious position. The Warrior of Light joins a familiar face in investigating the trials and tribulations of the future clergymen and women. Interesting. Okay. Old Charlian. Time to turn this in, then do the new adventure thing. Tales of Newfound Adventure. In Radzadan. Then I'm gonna take a quick break to eat something, and then we're going to Pandemonium Wing 2. Welcome back. I just received word from Mr. Tataru. What's this about portraitists and sky pirates? I don't know. That's news to me. Red Bill Leofard gave you this for the necklace? Seems to be a leather strap of sorts, and an antiquated one at that. Wait a moment, I recognize this design from my studies. This is a relic of the ancient city of Mahawk. Mahawk. It is said that Maki sorcerers would weave these cords with magics to make them unbreakable. You'd be hard-pressed to find better materials for a necklace. Mistress Tataru will be so delighted. She chatted endlessly about how pleased she was to know the Red Bills and what sorts of products might prove useful to our daring new friends. And the Rose Knights have already placed an order for the garrison. So all in all, I believe our latest endeavors was a brilliant success. As always, we shall be on the lookout for new areas of opportunity. So I hope we can count on you to serve as our charming emissary again. And in fact, I believe Mistress Tataru will insist upon it. Until next time. There we go. You may now purchase portraits from Dermot by speaking to him in Ishgard. Yo. Show me your portraits. Show me your moves. The sun has calmed down outside, so I can correct my camera. That's nice. Now I can effectively read the screen again. It doesn't have to be angled. He was around here, right? Bow, bow, bow. Ba, ba, da, bow. A portraitists. Portrait of Y'shtola. Portrait of Thancred Waters. Portrait of Urianger Augerelt. Portrait of Tataru Taru. Portrait of Alphino Levier. Portrait of Alice Levier. Portrait of Kryl Baldessian. And portrait of Garahatia. Nothing for Estinian. He probably has a portrait somewhere else in the game. That's probably why. Ba-da-da. No, I want to keep that. Hold on. Why am I want to keep this for my Viper. Get rid of that. Aiming. There we go. Okay. Now to Radsadhan. I'm just gonna open my window a bit more. Hold on. It's funny, whenever I stand up, it's so warm in here, it's like my clothes are glued to me. It's horrible. Okay. Where is this quest? Shadowed Pests. There you are. It's the thing that ran out of the... It's the thing that ran out of the palace before. God damn. It became relevant real quick. Oh, Master Chrane, you couldn't have appeared at a better time. You see, while out patrolling the city, I had a chance to sight a void scent. Huh? I immediately chased it down with the intent of eliminating it, but something about it struck me as odd. For one, it made no move to defend itself, but simply sat there, jiggling. Which is why, against my better judgment, I decided to capture it instead. Having traveled to the void, I dare say you have considerable knowledge of its denizens. If you have a moment, might I trouble you for your opinion on the creature's unusual behavior? Sure. I'm truly grateful. Now, if you would follow me, the creature is being held in the Hall of the Radiant Hosts. Sound works. Doing a quick audio check. Da 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 da. Hello. It looks terrifying. Here it is. Surprisingly docile, even when I captured it. And there have been no reports of attacks prior to that. Even so, it's the nature of Voidsent to prey on people for their ether. Perhaps it bides its time, waiting to carry out some manner of scheme. You, I remember you. Yes, you are at Troya. Please, you must help me. You were at the castle? Indeed I was, but I've since fled here. What is this? I understand the mortal tongue well enough, but I don't have a mouth to produce the sounds. It's been a struggle to convey my thoughts, but not anymore. You can help me. Yes, you can. Is he speaking to me through the echo? You can converse with a void scent. Amazing. Could you ask why it has come here? Explain thyself. I. When you and yours stormed the castle, I was caught up in the fighting and died. In time I returned, but I tired of fighting, so I fled, using the gate to your world. Having just been reborn, however, my essence hadn't been fully bound together yet, and so when I emerged from the gate, I was several sundered selves. Okay. So there's more of you out there? Frightened and confused, they scattered. Following the trail led me here. My diminutive size allowed me to remain largely unseen. But by the same token, I could do little more than sneak about. Each of us was weak and powerless. That's why we consumed one another in the first place. Together we were strong. I want you to help me find all of me so that I can be whole again. Yes, we should strike a bargain then. What did you intend to do in this world? I think that's more important than trying to, like, speak his language of trading and bartering deals. Why, live here, of course. I've always wanted to. We still remember the past, you see. Still remember when we were mortals. We long to have that life again, but we need your help, starting by reuniting us. We won't try to devour anyone, even when we're whole, I swear. You wish to learn more about the Void, yes? There is much we can teach you about those who rule its domain, about their past. Find the others and they'll tell you all they know. No eating, no tricks. Do we have a bargain? Yes. So the eye is crazy. Kill him if he steps out of line. So it crossed over to our world to escape conflict, and now it searches for the rest of itself. I understand Voids are quite reliable when it comes to fulfilling a pact, and I dare say having one as an ally would benefit our research into their world. Very well, if you would be so kind as to search for its kin, I will consult my superiors on how to deal with them. Sounds good. Get right on that. By that, I take it we have a bargain. Good, good. I sense 4 others close by. When you find them, you will need only point them in this direction. Once they sense my presence, I can guide them to the rest of the way. Okay, where are they? Highward Hectice. Well, there's one. Hello, little thing. What's that? I asked you to search for me in exchange for knowledge about powerful void scent? I was still wanting to see this and that, but I suppose a deal is a deal. Get back there. Oh. Something is afoot. Those men over there, soldiers, are they not? We used to have soldiers in our world too. There were lots of them during the Contra Memoria. Ah, back then from Weaver's Warding, are you? Oh. From Weaver's Warding, are you? I hear you fought well against the void scent that slipped through. Come now, I merely did my duty. Haven't we all sworn to protect our nation no matter the cost? Oh, we have. Oh, we have. Protect our nation. How familiar are those words? Where was it that I heard them? Ah, yes, it was the early days of the Contra Memoria. The enemy had conjured a terrible eidolon that laid siege to a fortress. Oh, the eidolons were the primals? Thought they were the Asians. The garrison was made up of ordinary soldiers, men and women with no remarkable abilities, but led by their valiant commander, they fought bravely and desperately. They had to last until the Memoriates arrived. The commander told them needed to hold out no matter the cost. A Memoriat did eventually arrive, but not soon enough for the soldiers. Oh. Having struck down the Eidolon, the Memoriat and his servant searched the castle for survivors. They found only the dead. But just when they had given up all hope, a faint groaning reached their ears. They rushed over to the sound and cleared away debris. To find a lone survivor, the garrison commander. Instead of joy, however, the sight of the man filled them with anger. Your soldiers are slaughtered to a man, yet there's barely a scratch on you. What's the meaning of this? The Eidolon was savage, but mindless. It was simple thing to hide myself beneath fallen debris. Kick him in the head. Hide? As commander, you had duty to your men. You were supposed to put their lives before your own. Spare me. My duty was to ensure the fortress stood, and it did. Besides, my death would have achieved nothing. Honor be damned. No, I'm sworn to protect our nation, and to do that I must live. It isn't my fate to fall here. It isn't your fate, you say? Do it. Ooh! God damn. Is he merely unconscious? Come, let us bury the soldiers and their commander with them. Fate shall decide what becomes of him, whether he lives or dies. Damn. Very well, my lord. God damn, that's dark. Okay. Funeral rites were later held for the fallen, but solemn tears quickly gave way to horrified screams as the body emerged from the earth. The commander. I can't die, I must live, the man is said to have declared. The people thought him a demon, a disheveled horror, muttering curses as he wandered off to regions unknown. Scamilione, they called him. Scamilione, they called him, a name befitting his newfound grisly visage. A name befitting a monster. So this questline is kind of important. That's some real flavor stuff right there. Goddamn. Unexpected, but awesome. We thought we buried him deep, but a mortal's desire to live is not to be underestimated. We thought we buried him deep? Are you the commander or the servant? A mortal's desire to live is not to be underestimated. You're immortal, so I expect you to understand that desire. Well, that concludes my tale. I had best rejoin myself, if you'll excuse me. That's awesome. That's so cool. Okay, so he's the Memoriat then, I'm assuming? Like, instead of him being the servant, he's probably the Memoriat. And the fact that we saw how Scarmaleone was formed, was like a person back in the day and all that stuff, that's awesome. So this is where mortal consume ether. Dreading loneliness more than hunger, how very like me. If you don't mind, though, I'd like to observe the mortals a while longer. The food here is simply sublime. Why, I feel stronger with every bite, as if the Maga themselves were granting me their blessing. And the food is tasty, that's true enough, but no food is so sublime as to be a substitute for proper training, my friend. Stronger with every bite. Oh, stronger with every bite, every feed. For my part of that bargain, I will tell you about how we Voidsent became strong. Simply put, it depends on the quality and quantity of ether we harbor. When the world was consumed by darkness, the heroes known as Memoriats arose as powerful Voidsent. In contrast, the vast majority of mortals, powerless and unremarkable as they were, became ordinary Voidsent, like me, Sir the Servant. There were exceptions, of course, but one in particular I'll never forget. If he hasn't simply just absorbed them along the way. Scarmaleone. Never had I seen a void sent so craven. Even when pushed to brink of starvation, he would prey only on those weaker than himself. Okay. Is it because he was too much of a coward to fight, or why? He subsisted on scant leavings and lived in constant fear and hunger. In the face of danger, a void sent stronger than himself, fleeing was the only option. But a day came when he found his way barred. How pitiful. Uh-oh.
Such overwhelming ether! Who's this?
You fled instead of facing your foe. Why?
Why? I'm too weak. Why else? I would have been devoured.
So you had enough strength? Had you enough strength, you would have stood your ground? Very well, then.
Oh.
What's happening? Yes, I feel it, the power swelling within me.
Lo, your foe returns.
Oh, did he combine the two? Did he absorb him? 'Cause he kind of looked like this.
What have you done to me?
I granted you but a sliver of ether. 'Twas with the power you already possessed that you defeated your foe.
I possessed such power?
Fear had clouded your eyes, blinded you to the strength you had attained feeding on the weak. If you would free yourself from fear, then join me. You shall have a greater cause to live for and know true power.
Curious how, in a world without death, the fear of it could be the key to great strength. The knight recognized this, recognized the void sent potential, and thus did he take him into his service. Determined as he is to live, it wouldn't surprise me if he were still somewhere out there. He'd be even more powerful now, I expect, from all the devouring he would have done since, unlike your world. Eating actually makes you stronger in ours. Well, I must be going now. The others are waiting. Well, he was out there, until very recently. Unless you mean the knights. He is still out there, and he scares me. My other self grows lonely, you say? My apologies. It was my intent to seek out the others, but I was distracted by the bickering pair of mortals yonder. My goodness, there's been some colorful language. To hells with your father. You shouldn't need his permission just to leave the goddamned house. Please, mind your language. What would father say if he were to hear you? It's always father this, father that with you. I'm sick of it. You're your own woman now. Bloody act like one for a change. Colorful language, yes. Not from the girl, though. No, she appears to be quite well bred. I just hope she's happier than a girl I knew long, long ago. That girl was born into a family of thugs who suddenly found themselves in nobility. But she was raised as a noblewoman. And had servants tending to her every need. But in the end, she was merely a beautiful bird kept in a gilded cage. Wanting her to be a proper lady, her parents presided over all aspects of her life. They decided everything for her, telling her what to say and do. Chafing from the fetters of her restrictive life, she solicited her handmaiden's aid and stole outside the manor, where she enjoyed moments of bliss unbeknownst to her parents, or so she thought. It was not long before her father dragged her back to her room, barring the door and windows, denying her even the simplest pleasure of an afternoon breeze. Even a bird in a cage may chirp freely, but she wasn't even suffered to give voice to her desires. But she wouldn't be deterred. Having once tasted sweet freedom, she yearned for more, and one day she succeeded in sneaking out of the manor a second time. I'm really liking this questline. You're late. I was beginning to think you wouldn't come.
If you're expecting your friends, I'm afraid they're not coming.
He brought the thunder. Father, how did you... What do you mean they're not coming?
I had known that some miscreants were cavorting in these parts, but to think that they'd dare to try to consort with my daughter. Well, you needn't worry about them anymore. They're food for the fishes now. Jesus.
How could you do this, Father? Why must you torment me so?
Know your place, girl. You are a means for our family to gain influence, and I won't have you sullying yourself with riffraff. What a horrible person. Oh god, okay. Oh no. Oh no! There's an axe here, okay. And he just turned his back to her. He's gonna die. You will not leave your chambers save with my permission, nor will you disobey me again. If you do so, there will be severe consequences. Am I understood? I said, am I understood?
To hell.
What did you say?
I said to go to hell!
Yeah. Damn.
Oh, to think that it could be so exhilarating to speak my mind and to do as I please. No more living in a cage. From this moment on, I'm free. Free as the wind. The young woman struck out on her own, and in her travels discovered her true calling. Oh, this is another one of the 4, I'm guessing. Not in the halls of lords and ladies, but on the battlefield. She became a force of nature, famed for her striking beauty, which belied a terrible savagery. And with this new life, she also claimed a new name, Barbaricia. Well, there you go. Indeed, she found her freedom, but she did she also find happiness? I wonder. I suppose I'll never know, nor does it matter, for the world that once was is no more. Oh, but goodness me, I'd better rejoin the others. Don't... You can't drop that on me and then leave. This is actually a really cool supplementary quest line for that raid, or that patch. And since there is a quest following this in 6.3, I'm assuming that one's going to cover the other two on the council. Whatever you want to call it. Haha. What a refreshing breeze. I'm to return to the others, but they should come here. Would you look at this beautiful, boundless sky? Mortals take to the air from here, do they not? Would that I had wings to soar among the clouds myself. But the Voidsent are not wont to roam, you see. The mightiest among us carve out domains, while the rest labor to stay in their good graces. Now the master of a domain seldom ventures outside, for it is in one's territory that one is strongest. For some, however, such confinement proved trying, as was the case for a certain Voidsent I knew. I speak of the free-spirited terror, Barbaricia. When she first established her domain, she willed away the days waiting for her minions to bring her prey. Did I go to these guys in the perfect order, or are they always presented in this order? Or did I just nail the order at which I went to them? Because I got as a human, as a Voidsent, as a human, as a Voidsent, both times. That's kind of cool. The ether amassed from these offerings was devoted to the singular pleasure of caring for her silky flowing locks, but the resources of her domain were not without their limits. It was only when none remained to oppose her that she realized she was a prisoner in her own domain, and unless she broke free, she would inevitably wither away alone. Not knowing what to do, she had fallen into the depths of despair when the hand of salvation came to pull her out. At this rate, my precious hair will frizzle and fray, had I only the strength to leave my domain.
If strength is your desire, that is easily granted. Wow, 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 wow.
Who are you? Ah, so much power surging through me.
And what will you do with it? What is it you desire?
What I desire? What I desire is...
You would move your very domain. Impressive.
that I can do such a thing. What have you done to me?
I granted you ether, nothing more. It was your will that made it possible.
My will?
Even so, no matter where you should go, there is naught but darkness. What could your destination possibly be?
Destination? I have no need of such. I wish but to be free like the wind. In a world that has met its end, rare indeed is the soul who desires freedom so ardently that she could will her very domain to move. Recognizing this quality, the knight would grant her more power, and a place of command in his mighty army. Not knightly army. Mighty army. A story worthy of our bargain, I trust. I might have had more to tell had I not fallen off her domain. It seems you... fallen off her domain, that's funny. It seems you mortals are also have a fondness for flying. I'd certainly like to try riding one of those airships of yours. But perhaps another time, my other selves will be blubbering mess if I don't hurry and rejoin them. We found the last of the Voids and time to head back to the Hall of the Radiant Hosts. The quest is the quest is finished. And once it is completely completed, we move on to big time content. Do 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 bow 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 now. Ba bow 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 bow. Ba bow 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 bow. Thank you so much for finding me. I hope the knowledge I had to share was worth our agreement. More than worthy, I'd say. They told me of Scarmaleone and Barbaricia. My other selves lived quite disparate lives, both as mortals and voidsent, though I suppose it is rather fortuitous that they crossed paths with such powerful voidsent. But more importantly, what they could offer was worthy of our bargain. For that, I'm glad. All that remains now is for us to rejoin and become whole again. Huh? Is this not all of me? There can be no other explanation. There is still more of me lost out there somewhere. But I don't sense them. Where could they have gone? You mean there's more of them wandering about? By the sisters. At the very least, if what you say is true, they pose no threat to the people. Until the others can be found, we'll keep these 5 under our care. Should I sense the others nearby, I hope we can count on you to find them too. There we go. Ba 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 bum. Oh, the next quest is actually locked behind MSQ progression. Interesting. That makes sense, though, considering we're probably talking about the future Archfiends. So that makes sense. Okay. That is done. And next up is... not anything here. It's in Old Charlene, I think. It's here, right? The next raid quest. Okay. Let's talk to the minstrel first, just to get that thing off my map. I'm gonna be annoyed otherwise. Welcome. Okay, I'm gonna write down the timestamp for that part that just ended. 5:25. And then we're heading into the raid soon. Greetings, my friend, Barbaricia. It's Barbaricia, right? Barbaricia. Good gods, a battle in the void. Certainly wasted no time seeking out Newfound adventure, by all means. Yeah, so Joshi P, this is what happened, right? Yoshi P. Not Joshi P. Yoshi P. A world without death. Fascinating stuff. What if she had devoured more of the Great Worm's ether? How terribly bright might her soul have shone then? I'm sure you're going to let me find out. Haha. I guess this means I have more trial weapons I can unlock now at the vendor in Radset Han, so that's cool. Okay, Abyssos. An unwelcome visitor. Yeah, that's part of the raid questline. Okay. So I'm going to take a short break. About, I would guess, 15 minutes to eat. And then I'll be back. And we'll do the raid. I'm gonna sit my ass down here. Like this. And then I will be back in a few minutes.